Welcome, welcome. So glad you decided to join. This is Jill Bullock, and I am extremely passionate about equipping folks, and particularly singles, to catch their whole life. Everything from your mission to your mate. This is the season, this is the time right now for you to create the life that you love so you can attract and keep the love of your life. That's what I know to be true. That's exactly what I did. When I catch my life in terms of started to create the life that I love, I wasn't so, overly invested about when my man and God was coming. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start living right now. And I'm just going to start embracing every moment of life, and the relationships and the people that come in my life. I'm going to value them, and I'm just going to enjoy the moment. And it just really changed the trajectory in my life. And I'm so honored and so glad to now have a healthy, happy marriage. And that's not everything in life, but that's a big part of it. Your relationships is a huge part of your life and your living. I would be remiss if I did not say I am also one of the founders of a global organization called Detour Movement. We believe when you renew your mind, you transform your entire life. Like the whole thing. And lastly, but definitely not least, I'm the author of a couple of books. They're too far to reach to grab them. The Biggest Lies Women Believe about men dating themselves, discovering the truth to a fabulous life, a fabulous relationship, is actually a best-selling book. Hey, Alexis! Hey, girl, hey! Hey, April, how are you, darling? I love watching your videos. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have some amazing stuff, amazing coach. And I just love what you're doing. You give so much. I appreciate you, darling. So anyway, also, you guys, I am the author of the book, Sexless Singles. How to Stay Sexless in a Sexful World. And also we have our joint devotion with the Proverbs 31 Day Challenge. I'm going to grab it. They're all right here. Okay, you guys, I grabbed it. Okay, so these are the books. So I'm going to answer a couple of Q&A. Hey, Timeen, how are you? Who else is on? Let me know who you are. I love to say hello. Let me know where you're scoping from. Julian Treal. And then lastly, but definitely not least, Sex a Single book. All right. So anyway, that's who I am. I'm glad you guys are here. Hey, Queen R, how are you? So anyway, I have some questions that came in. They submitted them already. And if you have some, you can submit it as well live, and I will answer those questions. But I'm going to share with you my story a little bit. Oh, from North Carolina, first timer. Welcome, 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 welcome. So glad you're here. Hey, Angela, how are you? So someone asked about courting a man with a child. And that's a good question. I'm glad she asked that question because it is different, especially if you don't have a child. So I'm going to imagine, I should have confirmed with her, but I can kind of tell it from both ways. But I feel like it's more difficult if you do not have a child and you're dating somebody that has a child, because you're coming from two different perspectives, two different worlds, right? So as I thought about that question, I'm like, oh my God, when I was single, even though I was single and I didn't have children of my own, I dated a lot of guys that had children. And I will tell you, it did make a difference. And I just want to share some of the stories and some of the lessons learned and how you can apply those to your life. So I think about this one guy I dated, and he had a daughter that was 6 years old. And what I found is when you're dealing with a little girl, I have so much negative space on this one video on Periscope. I want to bring it down. Okay, there we go. So annoying. Okay, when you're dealing with a little girl, it is a lot different than even dealing with a little boy, because what I found is when I was dating this guy, sometimes he would have his daughter, and she's 6 years old, and she wasn't used to having another woman around, because unfortunately him and the lady wasn't together, and she wasn't really used to having another woman around when it was her and her dad's time. So oftentimes she would really would want his attention, and because she's a child, and little girls are so needy. Little girls are so needy, especially up until 6 years old. She would want her dad to hold her all the time, and she would just cling to his leg. I used to be so annoyed. I'm like, this little girl is so spoiled. I'm like, you need to put her down. I'm like, she's too big for all of that. Like, she's way too big. Way too big. And it was just annoying the whole time in the relationship. And I was just like, I don't know if I could do this. But after I left that relationship, or we broke up, whatever it was, I started to realize and started to understand, you know what? The truth be told, so many little girls are so deficient in love. many of them, and many of you probably watching too, some of you may be in the category where you didn't raise up with a father. I was fortunate I did have my father up until I was 14 and he passed away. But even thinking when I was a child, I was very clingy to my dad, because as little girls, you're so emotional. You want to draw all that love. And a lot of times we lean on the father or that man in our lives to get that love, even as a child. So you have to understand that, and you have to be strong enough in who you are to create the space to let that man have that bonding time with that child. And really, I had to evaluate how I was doing relationships, because I was like, you know what? That little girl needs her dad. I'm a grown behind woman. I can handle my own emotional stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we'll have our time to, have our time of intimacy, and it doesn't have to be physical per se. But, when she's there, she needs that time. She needs that love. And she wasn't even living with him. So imagine she's only seeing her dad once or twice a week. So when you're dating somebody, hey, I'm seeing so many of you guys jump on tonight. Hey, Roslyn. Hey, Rolanda. Hey, Miss Leslie. I see so many of you guys jumping on tonight. So glad you're here. So, you have to consider all of that. So you have to make a decision about what your standards and what your boundaries are. Okay. When I met my husband, he had a standard that he didn't want to date a woman with children. And you have to make that decision in your life, because when you do date somebody with children, you have to say, okay, if you're dating to marry, which I know everybody who's following me is dating to marry, right? Because that's what we believe in. At least that's what I believe in. That's what I teach you. I mean, still can have a healthy, happy relationship, but I do encourage marriage, obviously, as a believer. But at any rate, you need to say, is that something I'm willing to take in? Am I willing to play that role as stepmom? Because when you do that, you're going to say, okay, so if this little girl has swim lessons and he got to take his daughter to swim lessons, are you okay with partially y'all date being part of the swim lessons, and being part of their lives? Because I believe if you're really dating somebody seriously, you're going to need to start playing that role, to some degree, not overly. We sometimes get a little bit too excited, but you need to start being at least a part and building a relationship with that child. And that child needs to like you and eventually love you, and you need to love and like that child. So you have to decide, is that something I want to do, to take on that extra responsibility and have this extra person? I would say on both sides of the aisle, whether it's a man or woman, I don't suggest you count people out just because they have a child. Thank you so much for sharing. I see you, Miss Felicia Camille. I appreciate you. I would say don't count somebody out just because they have a child, right? There's so many single women with children, single moms. There's so many single dads that are great people that happen to be single. I mean, I could think of a gazillion in my mind right now. I'm thinking about even my sister Treal. She was a single mom because she had gotten divorced, and then she became a single mom. A great woman of God, powerful, very independent. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So there's still great people who have children. And too, I think about a guy friend of mine, a close friend of mine. He ended up getting divorced recently. Great man, a great godly man. He's a provider. He went hard in the paint for his marriage. You know what I mean? But he married wrong. Just the truth be told. I mean, I knew he was marrying wrong when I met him, but I had just met him and I didn't have any authority to speak into his life, and to come as a stranger to tell him the woman you marrying is not for you. That was none of I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, he ended up divorcing her, and he's a good man. He's back on the market. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. Because again, that's my husband's standard was. He was like, I don't want to date one with kids. And don't be offended. Okay, you guys, don't be offended if you are that person with the child and somebody doesn't want to date you because you have a child. That just means you need to say thank you, because the truth be told, oftentimes man's rejection is God's protection. So don't be offended. That just means that person is not for you. Somebody asked if they can answer a question. Go ahead and please ask your question. Go ahead and ask your question. Don't be offended. So my big takeaways is courting somebody with a child. At some point, if you guys are dating seriously and really to me after 3 or 6 months, we have to respect their honesty. Yeah. And don't take it personal. Like, you're not for me. Like, I don't want you. And don't even take it as rejection. Like, you don't even want to be with somebody who don't want somebody with kids. That means you ain't gonna treat my son right. That means you ain't gonna treat my daughter right. I'm good. Like, there's too many people out there that's willing to do that. You know, so many. I can even think of another guy who ended up marrying a woman who had children, and one of her children had special needs. I think she had 2 children. I don't want to date a guy who doesn't have kids. I don't want any more. Okay, yeah, and that's okay. You guys, it's so important. If you don't do nothing else, if you don't do anything else, when you get off this broadcast, even right now, you guys get a notepad out and start writing down, what is my standards? Like, what is it that you want in a partner? You don't have to just tolerate and go with anything. You have choices. Hello? Let me go there for a moment, because even when you think about a proposal, when somebody proposes, they're proposing a question that you have to answer yes or no. So you have a choice. Oftentimes, you know, we walk around here like we don't got no choice. You don't got no say. You got a lot of say and you got a lot of choice. And you need to make a decision. And you need to put it out there and say what you want. And all I know is my God says, and I believe it's the same God that you serve, right? It's the only God. He says, ask and it shall be given. He says, knock and the door shall be open. He says, seek and you shall find. So stop putting these limitations on God. Stop putting these limitations on what is out there for you. I don't care if you have children. I don't care if you have 2 or 3 different baby daddies. Honestly, none of that matters. Listen, I was at an Amazing Woman conference today with my girl, Kristen, with Living the Vows, and it was Word to the Wise. And one of the young ladies says, a man is with you, okay? And men, if you're here, tell me if this is true. A man is with you because of how you make them feel when they're around you. It's the experience that you bring. They're not with you because, you know, anything else. I'm talking about a long-term marriage. When a man decides to take you as a wife, he's taking you as a wife because he appreciates, he enjoys how you make him feel when you're around. You stop getting a superficial, oh, I got 2 kids and 2 baby daddies, and it don't matter. Get over it. Get over it. Let that go. You're limiting yourself by saying that. The devil is a lie. He is a lie. We need to give him a black eye. Hey, Jay. Miss Victoria, how are you? So glad you decided to join. Some of you guys joined us tonight. If you haven't already, share this broadcast. If you haven't already, share this broadcast. Okay, Alexis. Let somebody be blessed today. I am just in this season like never before, really going hard in the paint, supporting my single sisters. And I also will say, if anybody's in the DMV area, you guys need to come and hang out with me next Sunday. If you're in the DMV area, come and hang out with me next Sunday. It's my birthday. And one thing about me, people always laugh at me because it's like, Jill, you always like in business mode. But I say, you know what? I am so grateful. Let me unzip my thing. My husband said I look overly holy with my zip all zipped up. But anyway, you know, people always joke on me. I know we gonna be there. Alexis, we coming to Chuck. We may do a tour in the Chuck. Me and Treal are working out the details. And then you know the annual conference is June 23rd and 24th. You need to mark it down on your calendar. Alexis, you need to be there. It's in Maryland though. You got to travel, honey. So anyway, you guys, people always laugh at me and say, oh, Jill, you always about business. But I say I'm grateful that my business is my father's business. And as I thought about what I want to do for my birthday, and as I have been growing, God has like been revealing, as Treal would say, he's been revealing my ugly and things that I needed to grow to be better as a woman, as a leader, as a wife, as a friend, as a sister, as a business partner. You know, I said, I've been reinventing. I'm not even the same person I was a year ago. I'm not even the same person I was 6 months ago. And the truth be told, I know that there's so many other women that's constantly reinventing themselves, right? And I want to spend my birthday with 35. I'm going to be 35. Y'all won't tell nobody. I know I look good. I don't look like it. I don't look like what I've been through. But, you know, I want to spend my birthday with 35 amazing women. And I'm going to have some of these women share how they've been reinventing their lives. How they have been reinventing their lives each and every day. And I'm super psyched. I'm super excited about it. Yes. Thank you, honey. Thank you. All right, you guys. So the bottom line with coordinating a man with a child, first decide if that's what you really want. Do you even want kids? And are you willing to take care of somebody else's? And don't do it just because, oh, this is all I can get. Girl, no. If you're not about that life, be true to yourself. To thine own self be true. You need to be true to yourself about what it is you really want. And if you already know you don't like that kid, hello somebody. If you already know you don't like their child, it might not be a good relationship. Thank you for sharing, Alexis. I've heard of so many horror stories, and there's really not even horror stories. I've heard about so many unfortunate situations where somebody got into a relationship and they end up like the child and the spouse did not like each other, especially if you got teens. My youngest is, I'm 18. Okay. Especially if you have teens, like you got to take that in consideration. Don't just ignore your children. I don't believe you should. I mean, I'm not saying their child should tell you what to do, but if your child say, I don't like the way he treats you, that's a problem. That's a problem. Why would your child say that? He probably, yeah, I'm going to need you to get that together. Like all the way. Like all the way. Like all the way. Okay. Now, I will tell you this. Little boys, I had the opportunity to stay with, you say, not sure if I want little ones in the house. I have to check myself and pray. Okay. Just, and it's, no, it's your prerogative. It's your life. It's your life. I was very blessed to have the opportunity to stay with Treal and G, my sister Treal and her son G, when we were all living in California. And so I kind of got a perspective on the outside, about parenthood and on all that good stuff. And little boys, if you're dating and you're a single mom, little boys will become very, very protective. Around 11 years old, they become very protective of you. So you got to balance that out. And you need to talk with them and let them know, because that's good. His instincts is to protect you. He coming into his own manhood. But at the same time, he can't tell you what to do. But at the same time, he be your little bodyguard. Oh, your birthday, Angela, is the 25th. Birthday weekend. So your 7-day countdown. 7-day countdown in the building. I love it. All right. So somebody asked me another question. You got to post it again. I didn't write it down. Shame. Somebody asked another question. Post it again for me. And I'll go to your question next. Well, actually, there's 2 other questions. Hey, Charlene. Hey, girl. Hey. Yes, my son was. Now he is 15 and he ain't playing. And that's kind of good. That's kind of good. I'm just saying. Charlene, I'm so glad you're on here. You guys, she's the amazing woman that did the flyer for my birthday. That flyer knocked all my socks off. My socks, my hat, my scarf, my t-shirt, my shoes. I'm like, see, I can't be fooling with her. She did such a great job. Thank you, darling. Thank you. So anyway, yeah, you guys, shout out to Charlene. If you need some graphics, she'll hook you up. And she don't take forever. Oh my God, I'm still waiting for something. Sidebar, random. You guys got to keep up with me. I'm still waiting for something from a designer for 2 months. 2 months. That's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. I digress. We're going to talk about that on our Mind Out Business Scopes on Monday. So anyway, another question came in is hold up, no. New relationships. Do you need to know the person's past relationships? That is a good question. That is such a great question. Thank you. I didn't record who asked it, but thank you, whoever submitted that question. When you get into a new relationship, do you need to know the past about the other person's relationship? I would say to a degree. Okay? Generally, yes. If you want kids by a lady with kids, but they're done. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think I got that question. I believe the question is, if you want kids with a woman who already has kids and she doesn't want any more. Okay, I would tell you need to move on. That was easy. And I hate to be that specific. Because having kids, that's a big thing. That's your legacy. If you don't have kids, and you want kids, and she don't want kids, you got to move on. I mean, you can see if she's open to, I mean, to me, it's still your legacy. Because as a man, you want your name to carry on. You know what I'm saying? You want your family to carry on. So I would say, you know, she's just not for you. And don't think she's going to change her mind. Don't think she's going to change her mind. So I would just say move on. It's going to be hard, but you're going to have to get to the place that you're going to have to let her go. Yeah, Charlene is saying let her go. You got to move on, okay? Let me go back to the question. New relationships, okay, be true to yourself. I mean, she may be cute, and I don't know if you're physical with her. It might be good, but that ain't the woman for you. If the guy put the desire for you to have kids, and he already ordered us, be fruitful and multiply. Hello, somebody. You know, and part of that multiplication is definitely with children. You can't even operate in your God-given assignment full on her. Girl, bye, Felicia. Girl, you ain't the only one out here. Okay, in my South Carolina accent. In my South Carolina accent. All right, so what I want to say, new relationships. Do you need to know the person's past? I would say you can't get blood from a stone. Okay. Okay, exactly. So, oh, man, leave her alone. No, you are worth more. He is saying, you guys, hold on. I can't even get, I'm going to have to take my time tonight. He's saying she's cheating on him with another woman. You are worth so much more than that. There is somebody out there for you that is going to treat you with the respect, that is going to treat you with the love, which is going to treat you with the honor that you deserve. You do not have to tolerate. I'm talking to every man, woman that's on the scope. You do not have to tolerate somebody, you know, cheating on you, misusing you, abusing you. See, that's a tactic. The enemy got you thinking that. I'm not going to go into it today, but I got a whole testimonial around abandonment. And you have to get to the place that you're okay with her leaving. Matter of fact, I'm going to encourage you to leave her. Okay. But really, in every relationship, we need to always be open to the possibility that this person can leave anytime. Okay? They can leave anytime due to their own decision, due to death, due to sickness, anything. So keep that in mind, because when you have that perspective in a relationship, any relationship, when you carry that perspective and you know at any time this person can leave. And you know what? I would be sad. I will cry. I will hurt it. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't going to die. And you ain't going to be in no deep depression. The devil is a liar. You are going to carry on, and you are going to go out and get your blessing and get everything that God has for you. You are not going to just be in a space of limitation and lack and thinking that that's the only person. God ain't going to put you with somebody that's going to break your heart and that's going to hurt you. And he ain't going to make you stay there. He going to give you a choice. It's your choice. I just had to say that. I'm not reading from anything, Charlene. I have my computer here with a couple of questions that I wrote down because I asked people to submit a question earlier. So, because last night I was on Q&A, nobody knew I was going to be on, so I didn't really have questions I had to make on my own. So I wanted people to submit questions in advance so I can make sure I had questions regardless if people were able to catch me live or on the replay. So I just have my computer here with like 3 questions. Yeah, she's saying devil uses a lie. There are so many good men and women out there. It is. And see, what happens is, because oftentimes the process that you're going through, you don't have a good process and you don't have a good screening process of the mates that you choose. You may have had a pattern of unhealthy relationships and people that have cheated on you. This was my reality. Have a good night, Felicia. Thank you so much for stopping in. Make sure you're following the scope, and I'm glad you joined us tonight. So, you may have a history of making bad decisions in relationships and connecting with the wrong person. And because you did not have the correct process, right? And maybe perhaps there's some things that you do need to reinvent with you attracting the wrong people. So you have a misperception that these are the only type of people out there. That's not true. That is so not true. Okay. So I still didn't answer the question. New relationship. Do you need to know the person's past relationship? I would say in that question, you don't necessarily need to know everything detailed about the person's relationships, but you want to have an idea. Their latest relationship, it is good to know what happened in your last relationship. Okay. What happened? Why did you break up? Especially when they were married, you want to know. You want to know, hey, Coach K, what happened in that relationship? Why did they break up? You kind of want to have an idea of what has been their past relationships, And I want to encourage you to be transparent. I want to encourage you to be transparent and shed the shame. Now, you don't got to go and say, well, you know, I done had sex with JJ, Antoine, Travis. You don't need to go all the way there. I don't believe. That's just me. To me, it's what relevance is it? But issues and things that can impact the partner's future and impact you, you should share. You know, definitely should share. You gotta shed the shame. Shatter it. Shatter the shame from your past and be able to move past the shame and be able to share, you know, from a place, and hopefully you healed. Because if you're not healed, I know you're not out there dating. I know if you're so like, you know, broken apart about this relationship, I just know you're not out there dating anybody. So we're just going to assume. We're just going to say, after the time that you're healed from all brokenness, this is going to be the time that you're returning to the date scene, and you will be able to share some things. You kind of want to have an idea, you know, of what their past relationships have been and things like that. I don't feel it necessary to disclose how many sex partners you've had, and you know, but if you've had some other issues and problems or things that can impact their future, you may want to share those things. But you just, you know, you don't have to share everything. Some things you can take to your grave. But you don't want to be deceiving, okay? You don't want to be deceiving, because a relationship is going to be built. Relationships is built on trust. So you want to make sure that you're operating that space as trust. But I can tell you, my husband was much more forthcoming about his past relationships than I was, because I still was dealing with a level of shame, and I didn't even know I was dealing with a level of shame, because I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this guy. I'm like, babe, you're not afraid to tell me anything. You're not ashamed of anything. Like, you'll tell me anything I ask. Like, that's just how authentic he was, and he didn't deal with shame. Like, my husband get over things quick. So I'm having a day, he over tomorrow. Like, oh, whatever. God done forgive me, I move on. Like, but I believe that's even more so the nature of men versus women. We tend to hang on to it for 80 years. 10 years later, we still talking about, but what you did to me? And that leads me to the next question. For someone who never dated, should you mention the people you used to be interested in, even though you never were with them? That's a quick question, but I'm gonna come back to your question. Let me go here real quick. Somebody asked, when do you begin to allow yourself to move forward and forgive? That's what I want to answer right now. As soon as possible. Okay? When do you want to forgive somebody that's wronged you? ASAP, for various reasons. One, because God ain't gonna be cool until you do. I'm just saying, real talk. That's not a Jalita-ism, that's not a Jill-ism, that's not a Detour Movement-ism, that's a Bible-ism, okay? That's what the Word of God says. The Word of God says that, you know, before you bring your gifts to the altar to God, you know, if you have aught with your brother, you need to go reconcile that. This is DDS. Hey, Angela. You know, go back and reconcile with your brothers and sisters, and then come back and offer your gift. And it also says that if you don't forgive your brother, then your Father in heaven will not forgive you. So you need to forgive that person as ASAP. But understand, just because you forgave somebody does not mean you reconcile with that person. Did somebody just hear me now? Just because you say, I forgive you, or I forgrace you because you don't deserve it, you may not even ask for it, I'm just going to give it to you just as God has given it to me. I'm going to offer it as a gift to you. Because the truth be told, holding on to unforgiveness and holding on to bitterness, like, you know, he cheated on me, he wronged me, you know, he disrespected me, he played me, whatever the case may be, or she did it too. Let me just not make it one-sided, right? That only makes you feel like, you know, it's like you drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die. You're the one carrying that burden. In truth moment, you can do research on it. Carrying unforgiveness, bitterness will cause you to get sick. It can cause you. I'm not going to say it will. It can lead to sickness and disease. And the truth be told, a lot of sickness and disease is related to emotional type of issues and things people deal with emotionally. That impacts their mental and physical being. I'm just saying. So let me know if that, yes, Let me know if that answered your question. So I would say forgive them as soon as possible. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. If that person, if you feel like you cannot trust that person moving forward, you don't have to be with them. And really, if you're not married, hello, let me say this. If you are not married and somebody cheat on you, you better leave that narrow-tailed dude. I want to say what my grandma would say, but I ain't going to say it. Dude. Okay? And or that gal. Okay? If you're not married, do not sit right there in a courtship dating relationship and let somebody cheat on you and you're going to stay. I'm saying, my perspective, I'm questionable even when it comes to marriage. That's why I just let my Treal talk to the wives. I'm like, I'm just going to, because listen, I'm still trying to accept what the word of God says in terms of, you know, death do you part. I mean, I already took the vow, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I just don't, I'm just saying. But if you ain't married, you better get out of there. Get out of there. Okay? Now, I have one more question that came through. She says, for someone who's never dated, should you mention the people you used to be interested in, even though you never were with them? You know, if it comes up, I would engage, but not anymore. You must just break up the engagement. But good for you, because she ain't the one for you. Because she ain't want to have no babies, and you got to go and be fruitful and multiply on these streets. I'm just saying. Okay, for every she's saying, should you mention that she dated people? Even I think it's not a bad idea actually that you do mention it, because it'll help keep you honest. Even if you haven't dated that person, the fact that you had an attraction still is something that, you know, he can hold you accountable and true to. Because what I told my husband when we started dating is that anybody that we've dated before are off limits for continual friendship. Okay? And we end up making one exception. And I'm going to tell you how that panned out. I'm going to tell you right now tonight. He going to get me. I'm going to tell y'all how it worked out. We had an agreement that, you know, we wouldn't continue to be friends with anyone that we had been in a dating relationship with. Okay? We end up making one exception to this rule. Don't make no exceptions to the rule. I'm just saying. He was like, I mean, I dated her like when I was 18 in high school. We never had a sexual relationship. We've been friends for 10 years now. It's nothing. I'm talking look, because my cousin Bray can hear me. So I'm like, all right. If you swear it's all like that, you this cool, and you know, ain't never been no little hanky panky, and we can do this. I'll let me meet her. She might be cool. Okay. So anyway, we go down to North Carolina. I'm calling people out who may know them. Anyway, and meet this young lady, and immediately I knew she still has something for him. She still has something for him, because she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you got a girlfriend. I thought we were going to be single forever." You thought y'all was going to be single forever, both of y'all. So when I got back home, I was like, babe, that ain't going to work. I mean, it was a difficult relationship. It was a difficult time for us, because my husband really see her as a friend, although he knew deep down inside she liked him. He felt that was her problem. But what we learned in marriage counseling is that it's not just the other person's problem. You have to do not what's okay or what's legal. It's not even about is it wrong or right. It is about what is beneficial. Now, we pay hundreds of dollars for them to tell us that. I'm telling you that for free. Okay? So as you're going through your courtship and you're getting serious with somebody, it's not about, oh, is it right for me to go? Is it right for me to go out to eat with a coworker who's opposite sex? Well, it may be not wrong. It may not be illegal. It may not be against God. But is it beneficial to the institution that you're trying to establish and what you're trying to build? I'm just saying. Okay, so I think it would be a good idea to share that, just so he can keep you honest and accountable. Because if that person comes in your life again, you really shouldn't be in connection with that person if you know you had a crush on that person. You need to get away from them. Don't stay out at the 10. And I even say this. I remember when I was, like when we were living somewhere else and it was a grocery store. And this guy at the grocery store, he was the manager. He would keep coming up to me. I was married now. He would keep coming up to me. I'm like, this dude is attractive. He need to stop talking to me. Like, why are you messing with me? I'm married. But every time I would go to the grocery store, and eventually I told my husband, I'm like, babe, every time I go to the grocery store, this man is talking to me. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, and it made me uncomfortable because I was attracted to him, quite frankly. So I'm like, you don't need to talk to me. Like, I was trying to get my groceries. Leave me alone. I told my husband, I know what hubby Pooh did, but I tell you the truth, I never had that man come talk to me again. I don't know what hubby Pooh did, but that man ain't never come back and talk to me again. Okay, get behind me, saying I ain't got time. So I say that to say I knew that engaging with conversation, as lighthearted as it may have been, it wasn't beneficial. It wasn't beneficial. I stay away from people that I find attractive. And I ain't gonna tell you no lie that I see people. I mean, I'm not blind. I'm not blind. I have my sight. I wear glasses every now and again, but I can see. So, and when I come across certain situations, I'm like, it's not even beneficial for me. I need to get out. Like, I don't even need to be like around you. Like, you know. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents about it. If you want kids with a woman who already have kids, I already answered that. I answer all the questions. So I'll take one more question if anybody has one. Hey, Blazzy, I didn't see you, minister, come through. I didn't see you come through. You guys do me a big favor. Hey, Morgan, I cannot wait to talk with you on Sunday. We are going to have a good time. So as I take one last question, I'm going to throw this out there. I am having a birthday party next Sunday, right in College Park, Maryland, guys. And I gotta be honest, it's a faith walk. I am doing this with my knees knocking and my teeth chattering because I was bold to have it at the Sheraton. And you know, like Sheraton ain't free, and the Sheraton is going to charge me some money per plate for this event. So I'm taking a deep faith walk and having my birthday here, and I'm excited about it. People have been registering. God has been showing up, and I'm super excited. I've seen several pictures of her sent to other guys in her phone. Oh, no. You deserve better than that. My brother, do you have a mentor? Make sure you get a mentor, a man of God, a married man of God in the church that can mentor you. Because sometimes, I mean, we always think that women are the victim, but sometimes our men even can be, vulnerable and, trusting too much to people that don't deserve it. And, I bet you're a really good dude and you can't, no real mentor. Seek one out. Join the brotherhood at your church. And connect with those fellas and get a mentor in your life. Because the truth be told, one thing, I don't know if you're a millennial, but I've been listening to TD Jakes. TD Jakes is my dude, man. He's one of my mentors, but I don't know him yet, like for real, in person, like for real, like know him. But TD Jakes has been such a huge inspiration to me. And every time I listen to him, it makes me want to throw my phone because he be spitting it. And one thing he said is like, I don't know, the millennial generation, we're so deficient in love. And because of that, because we grew up, a lot of us on electronics, we grew up in social media age and all these things, depending on where you are in that spectrum. A lot of us grew up without fathers. We have such a deficiency for love. So there's so much vulnerability. You're dealing with abandonment, you're dealing with rejection. A lot of people, even me, I grew up with my dad and I still have abandonment issues. How's that? Okay, so because of that, you need a covering. Hello, somebody. You need a covering over your life. If you are a single person, get a covering. Okay, that's another thing you need to write down on your notepad. I know you're taking notes tonight. Get a covering. Somebody type that on the screen for me. Get a covering. Hey, Diane. Hey, Lavanya. How are you? Hey, Val. Hey, darling. So many of you guys are jumping on. I'm not even seeing you pop in. I guess I'm too busy chatting right in my mouth. I'm trying to keep it up. So you guys, hey, Perk Tutor, I see you popped in. Thank you guys for coming in. If you guys haven't already shared, I want to encourage you to share. But the last thing I want to share with you is, looks like nobody has a question. I'm going to give you 1 more minute to submit a question. Get a covering. Okay, a covering is you identify a couple in your church that you eventually approach. You want to build a relationship with them, right? Get to know them in both parties. And then you, at some point, ask them to be a covering over you. They might have not done it before, and it helps if they have. But if they haven't ever done that before, you need to tell them what you expect. And part of what you're going to tell them that you expect is that you want to say, hey, before I start dating anybody seriously, I would like you to meet that person, right? And give me some wise counsel about that person. I want to keep you in the loop about the things I'm doing. You know, you shouldn't ever go out on a date without talking to this mentor or the spiritual couple and covering so they can help guide you. I'm really sick and tired of people thinking they're grown because you reached the age of 30. Because you reach the age of 40 or 50 or whatever, and they think because they grown, y'all got a problem with you thinking you're grown. You should think you're grown. Okay, I'll give you that. But I have a problem with you thinking that you can do everything on your own. When the word of God says that a man is not good for man to be alone, it just was not talking about you being with somebody. It's talking about you seeking wise counsel as it pertains to your relationships and making decisions in life. You don't want to go out alone. But sometimes because, you know, you didn't have the father, you didn't have whoever, you think you got to do everything on your own. That's a lie. That's a lie. There are certain things and people you can put in position to cover you. Because I'll tell you, I'm so grateful that I had so many amazing women. I'm going to call you out right now. I had Dana, my cousin. Dana, I speak into my life and into my relationship. I had my cousin Gwen, who spoke into my life and spoke into my relationship. You know, I had so many people to speak into my life and speak into my relationship and to help to validate my husband, because my father was gone. You know, and their husbands was, you know, had something to say and they gave me their opinion and, you know, they shared with me. I didn't really have a spiritual covering because I didn't know to do that. But I did know to talk with them. Miss Cat, who was my mentor out in San Diego. Like, these women helped mentor me when I was courting my husband. Kay Elizabeth had to check me because I was dealing with jealousy and envy. I'm just saying. And I am so thankful because I was this close. Because I was dealing with some insecurities. At one point, me and my husband broke up, but then I was afraid. And now I know a part of that fear was I was afraid of commitment, right? I didn't realize at that time, but I was afraid, and I almost wanted to break off with him because I was so afraid that it wouldn't work out. I was dealing with from a place of fear in terms of the relationship. But I'm so glad I had all these women was like, no, he's a good dude, you know, and like you just dealing with your own personal issues, Jill. You need to work them out because my husband is a good dude. I've been married 4 years, and I sometimes don't even I talk about it, but I don't like talking about it because I can say like our relationship is very smooth, and I don't want to. How can I say? That's why I like to talk about single issues because I don't want to seem like I'm on top of the world. But I will say this: I put in a lot of work before I got married, and I still do today. On me, my husband also. So when we got together, we were all like minds. We complement one another. We both seek the very heart of God. You know, we have the same values. So you talk about soulmate. If you want to say soulmate, that's my soulmate. So the relationship is so much easier, you know, not to say everything's perfect, not to say we never have a disagreement. We do, but it's very far in between because we're on the same page. The word of God tells you, how can two walk together in Christian love lest they agree? Sometimes you guys trying to get with somebody that you don't even agree with. This person ain't even following the same God you following. He ain't even serving the same God. She don't even go to church. Why are you still fooling around with her? Why are you wasting your time? You are so much more than that. God has $1 million mate for you. But you're waiting. You're sitting there bidding on $10, $100, $1,000. Girl, stop. Boy, stop. Stop, Leroy. Stop, Felicia. We ain't gonna be doing that. I guess I shouldn't say Felicia because so many people on here named Felicia. We just say, bye, Becky. Bye. Throw the dang phone. Okay. All right. I'm going to get off, you guys. I have created a new schedule. As I told you, I was like, I really should have started that after my birthday week. I have created a new schedule I'll be posting. And it's going to be effective. Let me say effective. I may do a little bit this week. Let me see what I want to do. I'm not going to start. Okay, so we're going to start this on the 26th. But I'm going to still pop in sometimes this week. My schedule is going to, for scoping, is going to be scoping and Facebook Live. I'm starting my own show. I'm so excited. Again, knees knocking, teeth chattering, because I am so nervous about starting this show on next Sunday on my born date. Actually, we're going to be doing the live premiere at my birthday party. It's going to be exciting. So the vision for my birthday is to bring single women in the room, to bring married women in the room, who all are committed to their transformation, who all are committed to reinventing into the next best version of who they are, and having this married women pour into the single women at each table. We're going to be airing the live show. I'm interviewing 4 amazing women of God: Khadijah Carroll, Mashandi Wright Brown, and also Morgan Cox and Morgan Bird. And it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be sharing my own testimony that, like, it's part of my testimony, some of my life, but how really in the last 12 months I break through like never before. This was really good, even though I love and learn so much from you, but this was just for me. I'm glad it blessed you. I'm glad it blessed you. So moving forward, you guys, my scope schedule is going to be, I should just tell you what it's going to be this week, huh? Okay, fine. So this week, I don't know. I have a schedule in mind. Maybe I should have started this week, but I was going to wait a week. So let's just go ahead and start this week. Okay, so Monday I do Kingdom Women's School, so that's offline on Zoom, so I won't be up. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to start praying at 5:45. We're going to be focusing on leadership and family. Family is going to be anywhere from your individual to your children, anything dealing with family, okay? There's going to be 2 focus on prayers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:45 a.m. Excuse me. And on Friday, we're going to do a freestyle. Okay, Friday nights, I scope at 8 o'clock, freestyle Friday. So I'll see. I doubt, oh, you know what? We're supposed to be going shopping, huh? Hold on, Val. We're supposed to be going thrifting on Friday. And if you're in DMV and you want to go thrifting, please inbox me. We're recruiting a couple of more people. So that's part of my pre-birthday celebration, and I'm excited about that. So inbox me if you're interested in going thrifting with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, I won't be on Friday then. So maybe I'll do a freestyle Thursday night. Okay, let's mark that because actually Friday we're going to do the shopping, and then Saturday I got to go to North Carolina, and then Sunday I'll be in Maryland, and then Monday I'm going to be resting, and then Tuesday I got to go back to the job. Lord, please deliver me. I know he is. Anyway, I'm grateful. I'm thankful for my investor, and all is well. I love you guys. I'm going to get off of here, and I will meet you guys again. You know what? I might scope tomorrow, because I keep saying I want to share with you what my pastor shares. So let's scope tomorrow at 8. How about that? All that for that. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Okay, you guys? Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Let's scope. And I may just share with you what I learned in service, because my pastor is so juicy. Like, he always has such gems that I need to be sharing with you guys. I shared it on my page one time. None of you guys didn't like it. You know, Facebook don't like outside videos. They be hating. So I'll just give you, returning back. Good question. Thank you. What's your name? The King's Kid. What is your name, sir? Eastern Standard Time. And speaking of it, Kenny and some of my other homeboys, we're missing you. Kenny, Greg, JW. Facebook said, okay, Darren. Welcome. Some of the brothers, they probably didn't know I was going to be on. I'm never on Saturdays, or hardly ever on Saturdays. But today I decided to come on, because last night was too dry. I'm like, where they at? They didn't know I was going to be on at 10:30. So I'm Eastern Standard Time, you guys. All right, I'm out of here. I love you guys. Until next time, be blessed. I'll meet you back here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, be blessed.